It's not live.
Hopefully this works.
Yep, there it is. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Urban World Talk Live. We are live. The internet gods did not want us to go live, but we are live.
Yeah.
The internet gods were against us, but we found a way to go live. What's up, y'all? This is Urban World Talk Live. I am your host, Mr. Terry Youngman, along with my lovely co-host, Miss Tiffany Bell. Miss Tiffany, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking.
You are wonderful. And you know what? Miss Tiffany?
I am dressed, ready for tropical and swimming.
Caribbean.
We gonna get into it.
Under the sea.
We are gonna get into it.
Is it another sister playing the Little Mermaid? It is. Yes. We're gonna talk about the internet's reaction to the Little Mermaid, amongst other things that we're talking about. But first, I gotta do something. Okay. First, I gotta start this off with this collection.
He really just brought
of some of
all of his
these Russell Wilson jerseys, which are now throwback jerseys, thanks to the organization who sent my boy to the Broncos when they came here yesterday.
I love Russell Wilson. I know there was a lot of haters.
They had a game yesterday.
Yeah.
We are, and for those who don't know, if anybody doesn't know, I'm sure most people do, we are live in Seattle, the Seattle area right now, where last night there was a Monday Night Football game. My quarterback came back as a Denver Bronco. They caught an L. Big ups to the home team. But I want to let you know something, Russell. I do not forget your 10 years of service. And I, for one, will never forget everything you did for our team. So from one Seahawks fan,
we appreciate you,
who was not booing you.
Yeah.
These are now throwbacks.
They really were booing the heck out of him.
They lit him up yesterday, man. They lit him up.
I was seeing like posters and stuff. It was like
it was rough.
He's ready to cook or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they were cooking that. They cooked double L last night in Denver, and we got a dub out here in Seattle. So big up to the Seahawks, the home team. But Russ, I'm still with you, my man. Anyway, guys, we got a lot of stuff going on in the show. We're running a little bit behind. We're going to get to it. As you know, we talk about entertainment topics. We talk about things that are going on, and we want to get right into it. Real quick, though, there was the show, the Emmys, that was on last night, Tiffany. Yes. You were talking about something. Okay. I didn't catch it myself. Now, what exactly happened?
I didn't catch them either, but I did catch some of like the highlights, and I know one big thing that the internet just won an award, won her first ever Emmy for Abbott Elementary. Congratulations, sis.
Definitely, congratulations.
But the reason people are talking about it is because Jimmy Kimmel, sweet Jimmy Kimmel, he did a skit, or he was doing a skit with David, I believe it was Will Arnett or Dave, I don't know, one of the Arnetts. And he was dragged onto the stage, literally like acting like a lifeless body, or like he was like too drunk or too whatever.
Right.
Pulled onto the stage, and they announced who it was, and he literally just stayed there as she was accepting her.
What's the girl's name?
Quinta
what?
Brunson.
And she won for Abbott Elementary?
Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
I think she won a writing. This was her like creative writer or something like that.
So it's a big moment for a black writer, or was it? Does she act in it too? I think she acts in it.
Yep, she is.
And she won an award, and Jimmy was staying on stage, and the joke was too long. You know, it's unfortunate that we always have these things with women, especially women of color, sisters being up there, not getting honored, and then they get to steal the moment from them.
And then we have a moment stolen from it. Like at almost every shot of her accepting her like award and getting her speech has Jimmy Kimmel on the ground.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
come on. I get it, you're doing a skit, but at one point, get up. And she played it off. Good for her. I heard some buzz about how she like posted a thing, or she said a thing where she was like, I'm not really mad. She's actually going to be going on Jimmy Kimmel to talk about it. Yeah. So I'm really curious as to what that's going to look like, but I want to turn the tables. I want to turn the dialogue. I want to turn it around and be like, look, I don't think he's ever won an Emmy.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel's, I don't know if he's won an Emmy or not, but he's done his late show. It's pretty funny, but
it's like,
he's done some questionable things before. And if you go look up in the past, you might see him wearing a little brown skin, doing a kind of not funny joke, acting like he was a black basketball player. So Jimmy,
I know that he's
got the best track record with black folks.
He's also said some rough stuff about Asian people. He's done some questionable skits.
Jimmy gotta watch that.
The way that I'm turning the table is look, he's on the ground and a beautiful black woman is standing above him, winning an award.
Okay.
So that's how I'm gonna flip it.
You said it's.
That's how I'm gonna flip it.
Okay.
He's at her feet. Come on.
All right.
Y'all are dying out. Period.
Wait a minute.
Period.
Wait a minute. All right.
Let me get aggressive. Y'all are dying out.
All right now. All right, Miss Tiffany. All right. Check out Jimmy Kimmel and the Miss Quinta Brunson. Check that out if you look online. Brunson. I know you ain't gonna kill me. How many times did I say it? Urban Walk World.
No, I really can't get
Talk
it right.
Live.
I really can't get
Look
it right
Blue.
every single time.
Talk about everything.
Urban Talk Live.
Yeah, she's getting it. She's gonna get it down.
The worldwide Urban Talk.
All right, so we got a whole bunch of a couple of controversial things to get. Urban World Talk Live. Tip, it rolls off the tongue. It rolls off the tongue. Urban World Talk Live. By the way, this is on Urban Solutions Radio. If you guys ever check out Urban Solutions Radio, they got a lot of good shows, a lot of great talent here. They got a lot of different podcasts. Like and subscribe to Urban Solutions Radio. And it is a new thing. Check them out, Urban Solutions Radio. All right, guys. Also, over the weekend,
what else happened?
Another big thing around the world was the death of Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth did pass away at the ripe old age of 96. She was around for a long time, and the rest of the world they were mourning Queen Elizabeth. As you can see here, there's a look at the beautiful queen. Well, look. This is not. I don't think that's a funny thing to laugh at, Miss Tiffany.
I'm sorry.
That's not a funny thing to laugh at.
I laugh at her.
She was around for a long time. She was around since before a lot of us, including myself, parents were born.
Yeah, but she also facilitated a few genocides in Africa. So we're not a fan of me personally. I'm not really all that much of a fan. And then you see the way that she treats Meghan Markle.
All right, so that's the thing.
That's the whole controversy over the whole thing. You don't think she was behind it, please?
I want to ask you something. I want to ask you something. There's been a lot of conversation about Queen Elizabeth. Over here, we don't know much about, just in general, unless we do the research ourselves or unless we have a certain interest in that about the monarchies and all of that. And now, her son was a prince forever, his whole life. And now he's finally king because of it. But she was around, and she's not too popular with a lot of black folks and a lot of people of color in a lot of countries because the British.
She did in Africa.
Well, the British, not just Africa, in India too. There was a lot of colonization that was still happening with the queen when she was about. So she's a very controversial figure with people of color. And then, of course, for us, for the things that we know, Meghan Markle, a citizen of the States, went over there and married one of her grandchildren, the Prince Harry, and she was not apparently a big fan of hers, and that's why there was a big rift in the family because she didn't necessarily care for him dating a woman of color. Which, if you ever seen Meghan Markle, she don't look like that, like that much of like you have to know that somebody got to tell you that she's mixed. You know what I mean? She actually, but they didn't like that.
She doesn't really. I feel like she could embrace her black side a lot more. But I'm not in her life. I don't know her. I don't talk to her.
What do you think about that? Because
I feel like she could have done more to represent black culture and
talking about Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
So when that whole thing was going on, I mean, did you feel like that was definitely she was being kind of racist towards her and didn't want her around? Because it seemed like that was what it was. That's what Meghan Markle.
I feel like they definitely because press releases, PR people, like media people, they are, and especially with like the queen and the monarch, I feel like they are very particular and very like picky about what they present, how they present things. They're very planned, very like well, and then to throw a black girl in that, it was a total wrench. And like they definitely did like their most to like suppress her
right, keep
and
that
just
off.
kind of keep her like no.
Yeah, they seem like they didn't really want her to be a part of the family, and also not only her.
And I mean, they ran away. They moved to like British Columbia and stuff.
There, right.
So they were like, yeah, no.
Not only that, there's a lot. Oh, come on.
Sorry,
come on,
sorry.
Sid.
I know I'm harsh. I'm harsh.
There's a lot of
I'm harsh.
There's also a lot of talk about how the Queen was also when she wasn't a fan of Princess Diana, and a lot of people have always. There's been a lot of different speculations about how big of a role that played in Princess Diana's death and all of the different controversies. There's been with the media always hounding her and stuff. So real controversial figure in a lot of ways, but also you can look at it as somebody who she was somebody from a very young age who was brought into a system. She was brought into that whole monarchy, and she was around for a long time. So I mean, it's not, it doesn't really hit us the same way, but I mean, I guess rest in peace to the Queen.
I mean, to like the people that suffered under like the British coming in and like trying to conquer like their countries and stuff, like I have more remorse for them than her.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I kind of,
and I feel like a lot of people agree with me. A lot of people on the internet are like, yeah, forget her.
Yeah, and real quick, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from the Queen in a minute here, but I just kind of, I've always found it funny that I just think it's a weird system that people are just born and people are just supposed to be like, yay, this person's gonna rule us now. It's just, I think that the king and queen system is a little, I think that whole system is a little outdated. Let's just say
way outdated.
So rest in peace to the queen, and that's pretty much all for that. Moving right along. Also, there was another situation that happened just recently. I think was it yesterday that happened. The rapper P&B Rock.
Oh yeah.
He was killed. Now, I don't know how many people are familiar with the rapper P&B Rock. Mm-hmm. I got an image up of him right now, who passed away. P&B Rock. I'm not so sure how many people are familiar with his work, but I guess he passed away. He was robbed at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
You know what's wild about that situation though is that his girlfriend posted like live, basically a live of like where they were at, where like what they were doing, and then somebody pulled up on him. Like, so
she had like the location of where they were at, and then somebody ran up on them.
Posted their location, posted it. Like, man, like don't. If you are, look, just listen. If you are a celebrity, you have to move different, regardless of like status. If you get some kind of popular, you get any kind of popular, you get any sort of money, you have to be really careful and really be on your P's and Q's, especially in like the hood, especially if you're going back to like, your streets, your hometown. You got to be really careful about how you move.
You can't just go and be like, I feel like a lot of rappers like almost wear like
they're getting cocky.
Well, also I think they kind of wear it as a badge of honor to be like, oh, I'm in the hood still. See, I'm in these streets. You know what I mean? That kind of deal. And it's like you can't run those same places. Not only that though, I also find it, on your back. You are a target on your back, especially people know you got money. They're gonna want to try to take it easy. Yeah. And I've always thought it's weird that people are so willing to let people know their locations anyway.
Yeah, like there's stuff that you should maybe just not post. I've always thought over some chicken and waffles, like for real, like you really needed to post that.
Well, not only that. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Are you one of those people who are like, hey, I'm right here right now. I'm at such and such restaurant. This food is delicious. Nope. Do you do that?
Nope.
On social media?
I'm out somewhere, I'm engaged with like where I'm at, my people, like, unless I'm uncomfortable, then I'm just gonna be like on my phone just scrolling.
Yeah.
But it's rare to never that I will stay in those kind of places, because if I'm uncomfortable, I'm just gonna get myself up and leave.
Well, yeah, I always feel like
that's me. But
it's really a bad idea to post where you're at in your location, just because you don't know who's looking, and you don't want everybody knowing your business like that.
And that's like something that people gotta really learn with the internet, because I mean, people post literally everything all the time. It's so just like mind-numbing. Wait, what?
I just think whatever running in there, the pictures. Yes, we're losing picture quality. No. We have a different Wi-Fi situation going on today, folks. So just bear with us. We are not at full strength today.
Hello, what's happening?
Yeah. So sorry about that. Sorry about the picture, guys. We're gonna clear that up in just a second here. Yeah. So that was a tough situation for that rapper, and rest in peace to him. You know, and you guys, let's be safer out here, because it's not a good idea to tell everybody where you're at.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna fix this.
Yeah. Maybe close some more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a little bit of a. There we go.
That's wild.
Yeah, we're fixing it up.
Let me know if it's better.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we struggle busting today.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it right now. All right. So moving right along, I'm gonna go into the next topic here. Ray J exposes the Kardashians
for like the 10th time this year.
Well, so
and this is coming off the coattails of Kanye exposing Kim and like going back and forth with Kim like publicly. Like, this is wild that he just chooses like the worst times to do this. I mean,
yeah, well,
I don't feel bad for him, but I feel bad for Kim.
Well, hold on. So what the thing was, I think the thing that happened the other day, that where this whole thing came from, was that Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian's mom, was on I think it was the James Corden show, and they were talking and doing their little skits and sketches and stuff like that. And at a certain point, Kris Jenner was put on a lie detector test by James Corden, and the question asked if she was the one behind the infamous video where it was a sex tape with Ray J and Kim Kardashian, the video that basically made Kim Kardashian famous. And she said no, and it was said that she was proven, not that she was telling the truth. She wasn't lying. So,
and then he comes with all the receipts.
Yeah, like, he was mad about that.
He posted the contract. He posted her handwriting. He posted literally everything. And it's like, it's getting a little sketchy.
So that there's a picture of look at Kim's old face in that picture. Look at that. That's what Kim used to look like. It was such a different day, different time. With Kim Kardashian,
gotta love plastic
before
surgery.
The money. But so the thing is, though, so Ray J also, he came out with and he showed actual contracts that were signed by Kris Jenner. He came out and brought all that stuff up because he's saying that all of the negative attention that he's been getting
he's sick of it
for the last decade or decade plus since the Kardashians have been out, has been like, people don't trust him. They think he's leaking stuff. And it was never a situation where he leaked. In fact, Kris was there. And according to Ray J, Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian's mom, not only was she signing the contract and helping her get that video distributed and put out there in the first place, apparently, remember a few months back when Kim Kardashian was on her show and they were talking about how there was another video and Kanye came to the rescue and flew and met up with Ray J, and he got the other video that Ray J was supposed to be taking.
She was about to go on SNL. Yes, I
can't believe he just did such a nice thing for me. He went and got this video from Ray J. Well, apparently, according to Ray J, the other video was something that was also brokered by Kris, and it was a video that she actually said not to put out because she thought the other one was better. So Kris was apparently involved in them shooting the sex tape in the first place. So,
that's so weird.
After all of this time, Ray J has been getting painted out as the bad guy who's been leaking the videos and leaking all this stuff. When Kris Jenner was behind it. Well, okay, so let's try to unpack all this stuff. If we're taking Ray J for his words, which Ray J, again, I don't have all of it here. Look it up. Ray J's got videos though. It's really easy to find. He's got videos where he's actually pulling out contracts. He's pulling out different documents that shows that they were actually all involved with this together behind the scenes. So knowing this stuff,
he hasn't been slapped with a lawsuit about,
but he can't
cease and desist.
But he can't because it was something that they all agreed to. All parties agreed to it.
Contracts and stuff and like.
Okay, but we'll see. But even on that tip, it was also something that they were apparently they actually forged his name on a contract. Yeah. According to his receipts.
Forged
they actually put stuff on there. So yeah, I actually
it's messy.
Look,
it's messy.
So if you know all of that,
real messy.
You were saying you feel sorry for Kim.
I do.
If you know all of that.
I mean, if she's going through all of this stuff, and mind you, like, do you remember like around the time when that chick came out or that stuff came out? Yeah. You remember they had Paris Hilton had just leaked one.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of other celebrities that were leaking them. Yes, they had a bunch of other celebrities that were leaking. So that was kind of like the new thing to do.
That was well Pamela Anderson first.
She was trying to get famous. She was working on trying to like build her name. We say build her name, but like whatever. It was a different time and era back then, and I mean. Because someone has come out with a sex tape, it doesn't mean that needs to necessarily like be their legacy, especially if they did something and then they built off of that from then on. They've moved on, they've changed, they've done like she's a mom now. Wait
a minute.
Why are you still rehashing this old video from like 10, 20 years ago?
Hold on, I'm gonna get to that. Hold that thought. Let me answer this real quick. Lydia says, I love you. I love Russ, but still go Hawks. Is from earlier. She said the queen was not the greatest lady, and it also has nothing to do with American democracy. She doesn't get why people care because they're queen. They're kings and queens. It's royalty. Yeah. Yes. I don't know why really either. Terry Senior says we have no order.
Why does it matter to us? Like
Lydia says that he really did come with those receipts.
He really did.
And I think that we all know that she was on board with that in the first place, and it's crazy that it makes it headline. We knew. Well, but that's the thing, though.
That's how they were doing it back then. Like they were really like that was like the big thing to do. Like
right, but look at it like this.
Let's release sex tape. Let's release like that's kind of like the new thing. It's like
that was the thing. That was the thing to do. But
it's sex. It has all of it behind it. It has all the good marketing, like potential and like force, and any press is good press, right?
Right, but if what Ray J's saying is that it has negatively affected his jobs, his career, his relationships with people. He thinks that all that stuff was damaged because of that press. And they came out looking like the victims. They came out looking as if he was leaking stuff out for them. They were innocent. They didn't know and all this other stuff. And that's the way that his career's gone. Ray
J has no one to blame for his career but himself.
They became billionaires.
Ray J is a hot-ass mess on a good day. Like, on a good day, he's a hot mess.
So he's a hot mess on a good day.
He can't sit here and blame, like, the Kardashians for all of, like, the downfall of his entire life. Like, that's, come on.
I'll give you that to a point. But at the other end, you got to also think, look at what it did. They became billionaires off of it, and they were the victims in it because they were the ones that didn't know the narrative that they built up.
I, for some reason, now know that Ray J has a crooked penis.
Oh my
goodness. I mean, I know this. I knew that about him, and then he went on like Love and Hip Hop. He went on to do his own thing. He has different things that he's doing at any given time. His hat moves every 2 seconds. You know, he has his own life. He has his own thing that
wait a minute.
He had the full potential to move so much further, but I feel like he is kind of the person that stands in his way and then wants to play victim.
So you're saying he's not famous because he got a crooked penis. I don't agree with that, Tiffany. I don't know if that's a great take. Is that what you're saying? That's not what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's not
I'm
what
not
you're
saying he's just famous because he was Ray J before, like
he was Ray J before the cricket.
He was in not Monica, Brandy.
Mo to the E to the.
That's Brandy's.
Was it Moesha?
Brother.
Was he in that?
Yeah,
was he in
Moesha?
He was in Mo to the.
He had his own show. He had his own like little acting career. He was a singer. He did all that other stuff well before Kim. But he continued to do it.
What I'm saying is though, he still was the one out of the two parties in that situation, out of the Kardashian party and out of the Ray J party. He was the one that came out looking like the bad guy, the evil boyfriend, and did the evil black boyfriend too, that was coming out and exposing the innocent, not black woman. I think that there was a lot of layers to that. And if they keep coming, I think because Ray J was quiet for a long time with this because of the arrangement, because they both kind of mutually benefited. He got a reality show out of it. They got a reality show out of it. They did their thing. He did their thing. But if they keep coming out and keep saying things like, oh, he's going to leak out this other video and all this other stuff, still painting him as the bad guy. And if that has adversely affected his career and his relationships, then I do think that they took it a little too far, don't you think? Especially when behind the scenes, they were as much, if not the most biggest party and responsible for leaking those videos. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But like, for me, like, okay, ish happened. Move on.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still like rehashing all this old stuff? Okay, something happened. They wanted to get like more, whatever. No one cares about that timeline anymore. No one really cares about the videos anymore. We've all seen entirely too much of Kim either way. Either way, before and after. So like, no one really gives a shit. We're all moving on. And I think Ray J should do the same. Well, take some accountability for his part in it. He was the one holding the camera. I watched the video.
Yeah, but
he was holding the camera.
Apparently.
I watched the video. He was holding the camera. I know what those ankles look like.
I can't say for sure if I've ever watched the video myself. I can't confirm or deny that. But what I can do, apparently, according to Ray J, Kris Jenner was the one that was yelling cut. She was the one that was behind the scenes watching the whole thing. I'm just saying, let's not let them skate on this. If they're back there doing the dirt.
And I mean, okay. We all kind of knew that.
Yeah,
we all kind of knew that.
I'm just saying.
Like, you've seen how Kris, like, markets stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're all fully
I'm just saying, if Kris was behind the scenes.
And no one's making Ray J to seem like a bad guy. Like, I don't feel like anyone's really made him seem like a bad guy.
But he feels like they are. He said that he actually, on one of his, on one of the videos that he had put out, he was talking about how even like he was friends with Keisha Cole. And Keisha Cole was like, I don't want to F with you because, you know, I felt like you were messy, and I felt like you were the one that was out there, and you were out there putting stuff out there, leaking videos and all of that. So I don't know if you can trust you. He said he had a lot of relationships like that, and then he had to be like, look, it wasn't like that. I wasn't doing it.
But then he's still messy.
How's he still messy?
Have you watched any of Love and Hip Hop?
No, I do not.
Okay, then don't talk to me about it.
I don't know.
This man is the epitome of him and Safari, both of them together. They just messy.
You can't go off of that. That's all scripted because the reality shows are scripted. They make those.
I mean, you've seen his relationship with Princess Love.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, I have. So
what's he do with Princess Love? You talk about Princess Love.
So they've been on and off like for so long. And he's done stuff. He's cheated on her. He's thrown her into a pool. He's like, you know, there's been a lot of mess. And like, he needs to take some accountability.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
That's going to be the takeaway from this is take accountability for yourself. Even if you are put into a bad situation, that does not mean that you get to sit back and like, pout and play the victim the entire time for the rest of your life. No, you get up. Take accountability. All right, I was in this situation. It's a lesson. I learned from it. Move on. Period.
Well, yeah, but if they're not taking accountability either, and they just keep getting richer, I mean, that's kind of.
They're getting richer because they have their own like other like.
I don't know.
They've become like marketing insane, like marketing mogul, basically. Like they market so much. They have different brands, different things that they're doing. Skims is amazing from what I hear, but whatever. But I mean,
well, all right. So, right, real quick. Let me look at this. Lydia says that he knew what role he played and was to play, and he signed the contract, so we can't talk about it now.
period.
But he also says, and Kim is probably just bored, and that's why she's talking about it again. Boo, I'm over it. Yeah, well, you know what? He's not over it, and they're making money off of it, and I feel like maybe he should get a little bit more money about that if they're gonna keep sullying his good name. But all right, so that's enough for
Ray J, we're tired of you.
And all of them. You know what, Ray J, I ain't mad at you, boy. Go ahead and clean your name. They can't keep making money off your name. And your Cricket Wang. So we make some. Don't let them keep making money off your Cricket Wang. This picture's crazy, man.
Yeah.
This picture's not good right now. All right. Also, let me see. What else do we got now? Oh, so moving on. We're going to just go ahead and jump to this one right now. The internet reaction to The Little Mermaid. If you guys have seen the trailer, Disney is releasing another live action movie. They keep making the live action movies of their old cartoons. I think they just dropped Pinocchio on Disney Plus the other day, which is a remake that has Tom Hanks and Cynthia Erivo is playing the what's the name of the witch on there? The fairy witch. Fairy godmother for Pinocchio. She's playing her.
Yeah. She did a really wonderful rendition.
Did you watch that? I didn't watch it.
Dude, I have vocals, okay?
Don't get us kicked out. Don't get us kicked out.
I got vocals.
You got all the rights to that song.
But no, she did a really good job.
She did a great job. So
I watched most of it. I had to go.
Well, they're making all their remakes. They did Lion King, the CGI version with Beyonce and Donald Glover. They did the Aladdin movie with Will Smith a few years back, pre-slap, and they did Cinderella, I think, and Jungle Book. Next one they're going to tackle is The Little Mermaid, and the casting for that happened a few years ago, and it was Chloe Bailey. Now, no, Halle Bailey. Chloe Bailey's her sister.
Oh yeah,
Chloe's the one that the one.
Chloe's the wild one.
Yeah, Chloe.
Haley.
I'm Chloe. I'm a fan of her work.
Haley is my favorite.
Haley,
I love her. She's a beautiful voice, by the way, too.
Haley
oh
Bailey,
my gosh! Did you see that trailer though?
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer?
We're gonna get to that. So.
My god!
This is what Halle Bailey looks like. Halle Bailey, a very famous musician.
She's so pretty.
Yeah, she's a very pretty girl. She was a very strong voice, beautiful voice, which is what got her cast in the role of Little Mermaid, and by Disney. But the reaction instantly and almost predictably, if you've been aware of how the internet reacts to these things, they were very disapproving of her in a lot of ways, in a lot of circles. And I think the dislikes of this recent trailer that just showed up this past weekend and finally showed her a glimpse of her as the Little Mermaid. I'll just put the first image up that we saw of her right here. That's the image of her as the Little Mermaid. That image, along with a little bit of a teaser snippet trailer showing her singing, had just came out this past weekend, and already it's been being bombarded with a lot of negativity and with a lot of criticism, a lot of it from not black people, and it seems a lot of racist kind of comments. It was very tough watching that. I think the Disney actually got down to like 1 million dislikes when it came to the Little Mermaid trailer, and which is the trailer shows nothing. It literally shows her just sitting on a rock singing a little bit and sounding beautiful singing. That's it. That's all the little trailer showed.
Other content.
And it got to
the teaser of the year.
Right. So they were sitting up there and they were ripping it to shreds. What do you think about this when you hear what's going on? What did you think about it when you heard that they were doing a Little Mermaid with a black woman as the role of Ariel?
Honestly, I was excited. I was excited because we have so many white princesses. And we, like the black community, black girls, only get one. We have Tiana. That's it. And so it's like, where's all of our like fun princesses, like fantasy, like besides, you know, Black Panther, which is Marvel and it's like superheroes, that's for like the boys. Like, great. They got one. But we need more diversity as far as like these princesses go. I mean, we have Mulan, she's Asian, but that still doesn't, you know.
Again, that's another shot of her under the water. That's the one that's got riddled with it. So I mean, so you didn't have any problem with them making the Ariel not white, making her a black girl. No. You don't mind that?
No.
You don't mind that?
I don't mind it. I love it.
And does that make you? Does that actually give you a little bit of something? Gives you a little pride?
Yeah. Right. And she's gonna do an amazing job because this girl has an amazing voice. If you've ever listened to like her sing, if you've ever listened to like her Chloe and Halle music beforehand, like
they're great.
She has like this beautiful, just like I don't know, like very angelic,
Right. So I got a couple of different things about this. First of all, I think it's a beautiful girl. I think that if you're sitting up there and you're criticizing that trailer, there's something wrong because that trailer did not show anything. So there's definitely a bias there, right? Let me look at some of this real quick. Lydia says that Aladdin was the only remake that she liked. She said that Chloe's Haley's sister's bad too, and she said that Ariel had a Jamaican best friend back in the day too. Terry Senior said that they couldn't wait to tear apart. Again, I'm gonna show you this image. I mean, look at this. This girl. If that's what you saw. You saw that image, and they tore that apart. I think that it's really sad, and I think it's really clear when people come out and the type of mental gymnastics that people do to criticize things because they're racist without saying they're racist is funny. Because they'll try to say things like, "Oh, it's not sticking to the source. It's not sticking to this. It's not sticking to that." But can you tell me what a real mermaid looks like? I've never seen one. Have you ever seen a real mermaid?
No.
I've never actually seen a real mermaid.
Look, if you go and like look up mermaids, because I was bored one day and I did this. So mermaids, the first sighting of mermaids was in Syria.
Syria,
which is Middle East.
Right?
Brown
above
Africa.
Brown skin people.
Yes.
It's a brown skin people.
Yes.
Okay.
And I mean, there's talks of mermaids in lots of different cultures, actually, in Japan, China. There's like ancient Greece, Roman. There's where else? It was like African folklore is like one of the craziest ones as well, which I like. I love that. They call it like Mami Natu or something like that.
Mami Natu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have to look it up.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like it's like the mother of the water, basically.
Yeah.
And mermaids are not pretty. Like if you look at the actual like real true folklore, like mermaids are terrifying.
So your point,
kind of scary and evil. So
they're not sticking to the source material in the first place.
No. So I feel like with Disney, they have this whole. Let's put like a bunch of sparkles and like love and like happiness onto this kind of like actually dark story, and they've done that since like the beginning of time. Like the Sleeping Beauty was some other, like Hans Christensen was a wild person, and that's where a lot of the stories are based off of. So they're known for putting a lot of like sparkle and just like lightheartedness into stuff. Now, the conversation that me and my fiance had last night actually about this, because we were talking about it, he was saying, why can't Disney give us our own story? And I think that's where a lot of the backlash is coming from. Yes.
Teach with a good. So to that, I'm going to read something real quick, and then I'm going to get to that point. Mm-hmm. Terry Senior said that they could not wait to tear it apart, and that's that's true. Because I feel like a lot of this, if you look at a lot of the stuff, like there's the Amazon's got Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power there. Now, it's been downvoted. People have been a lot of fans, because a lot of critics, actual critics, have liked the show for the most part. A lot of fans online hate it, but if you go back 5 months ago, they already were hating it. So if you were already hating on something months before it dropped, how much credibility can I give your criticism of it when it actually drops? Because it seems like you already had your opinion made up before it came. But to Tizzy T's point, which was actually going to be my next point, one of the things that I've had an issue with when it comes to this stuff with Disney is with this race swap stuff that they're doing with some of these characters. The reason why guys like me who are fans of certain materials, like in comic books and in other media, I can't stand when they race swap things for one simple fact. I didn't ask for it. As a fan of these things, I didn't ask for it. With the Little Mermaid, it's fine the way it was. And like I said, like Tizzy said, bring out the new story of a black character. Or you even alluded to one. You brought up a name of Tiana. Why don't we get a movie for once, Disney, with our black character where you don't change them from a princess to a frog for the whole movie and then call it the Black Princess because she didn't get a real movie. You know what I mean? If you watch, Pixar had a movie called Soul, right? Oh, yeah. So we get a little, but check this out. One of my criticisms that I have with that movie is that you have these beautiful black characters that are running around, beautifully animated, and then the guy dies and they're little blue bubble souls for the whole thing. Almost like they want to say, hey, look, we're doing a black character, but not too much. We don't want to scare people away too much. So they're not going to be like, the black character is going to be like a blue ghost guy running around for the most part, and we're not going to scare people away. Disney needs to, when I heard that they were going to race swap the character and bring in Halle Bailey, I think Halle Bailey is a great talent. You saw the pictures of the girl. I'll show you a picture one more time of her. I mean, this is a beautiful woman.
Put the picture on the screen.
This is a beautiful woman. All right, take a picture of it. You can't have a problem with that. But the thing is, when you make her the Little Mermaid, you automatically know that she's going to get backlash for it. You know that. You know that that's going to happen. And it's like they knew that going into it. And it's almost like you do it on purpose so you can make the money and you make the movie and you can kind of say, look, we're doing this thing. I just feel like creatively, I would like to see them create new characters. Let's go into African folklore and find an African character or Jamaican or something. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, for me, I felt like it had kind of an already built-in fan base. And so I think that, like, from, like, the marketing standpoint, like, thinking just as, like, someone that's a marketer for, like, Disney or, like, someone that's creating new movies and stuff for Disney, you would want to find something that already has, like, the fan base and already has like all the material and everything there. Like it can be really easy, really like bing bang boom, like we just film it, it's good. You don't have to go into like the details of like the writing and finding a story that you'd have to buy and you'd have to like do all this other stuff, create a new fan base, tell a whole new story. For this, I feel like they just kind of did that so that our community and like our children can feel, embraced.
Right, but I think that there's a way to do that though. There's a way to do that though by how bad would it have been for them to go back into the Princess and the Frog, go back into that story and check in with Princess Tiana later and have adventures of her what I'm saying is on a big scale. Like on a big scale, on a live action or whatever. If you really blow it up the way that they're doing these other movies, right? Yeah. Because here's the thing. So when I see this stuff, just like you're saying, you're looking at it from the marketing standpoint. I'm looking at a company who knows that creatively it's easy to just go. Let's go pull out the stuff that already works. Let's drag it out, and to avoid the criticism from people that'll say, oh, you're just not creative. You're just coming out with the same old stuff. You say, oh, no, look, see, we remixed it. Now it's a black girl. And it's an easy out for them and also an easy way to shield off any criticisms by saying, oh, look, we got a black girl playing it now. If you don't like it, you're probably just racist. But you already knew people were going to have a problem with changing the source material from the cartoon. This is what I'm saying. This is all I'm saying.
I get.
And again, and understand, follow me with this real quick. Because I'm somebody who is a big comic book fan. I've heard rumors that they're talking to Denzel Washington and Giancarlo Esposito to play X-Men characters Professor X and Magneto. Now, these are two of the best actors of all time, especially Denzel Washington, Giancarlo Esposito. He was on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Oh.
And he's also been in a lot of other stuff like The Mandalorian. Those are great actors. I don't want them as Magneto and Professor Xavier. I don't need them as that because, those are already established characters.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're just asking for it to happen. And these are great actors. You can make them anything else, but they're going to do the thing and they're going to do the race swap thing. And people are going to get pissed off. And it just creates this entire discussion that I feel like is just crazy. Let me look at this real quick. Terry says Disney has been softening up with stories for years. If you don't know, racism is back in vogue. And Terry says, if God wanted us all to be white, we'd all be white. Look, again, I have no problem with that. The fact that they're doing different diversity stories and showing different colors and different races of characters. But I just feel like when you're taking the old established characters that people already know and love, you're just inviting this energy to it off top. I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, you're kind of inviting yourself to get kind of ripped to shreds. But at the same time, though, if you have a story, you have an already like established story that you love, that already has that fan base and everything behind it, why not reimagine this? And like, you can reimagine it to be however you want, however, like whatever color, whatever race that you want to have in there. Like, this allows us to kind of open our minds and be, take a story and be able to actually like put ourselves into it.
So you're okay with that.
Yeah,
you're
that's
okay
what I'm
with
saying. Like, if I fall in love with a story and like a story that I can tell like my kids or whatever, and like, rocking them to sleep, telling them like all these like good night stories and all that, I want them to be able to imagine themselves in it. I want them to be able to see themselves as a princess or a mermaid or whatever the hell that they want to be, like this gives them that kind of opportunity. I'm thinking more for the kids. I'm thinking more for like, this is just like a story that's already loved. It's already like, and Hans Christensen, Hans Christensen, I think is the name of the guy that wrote it initially. Mm-hmm. It's all based off of his like really, really dark, crazy story of mermaids. And mind you, like mermaids, they're in all sorts of folklore everywhere. Yeah. So, I mean, to say that this story is just white, even though it's already created and it was just white, but it was also created at a time where like black people were not really, in movies.
No, they weren't.
We weren't really like in fantasy and fun stuff. Like,
I see. I feel like I'm with you, mm-hmm. and I like the representation. I love the fact that little black girls are looking at. As a matter of fact, Halle Bailey. Oh my God, she's got to change that name.
Halle Bailey.
She's got to change that. I want to say Halle Bailey so bad. Halle Bailey has shared pictures of little black girls crying when they saw the video.
I know, oh my gosh, don't get me started.
So it's awesome.
When I was seeing that, it made me emotional. To be
honest. And it is.
I'm like, yo, like these little girls are like me, because like when I was growing up, I was like, I have curly hair. I don't look like that. You don't look like that. That doesn't look like me. I don't have any like princesses that look like me. Like, closest I came to was Pocahontas, and I'm like, man, I wish I had long, pretty hair like Pocahontas, but I don't. I have curly, crazy hair. Right. Most of the time.
And it's good to see it. Lydia said that was a good point, Tiffany, that you made a minute ago.
Yeah, it's like it's so comforting to be able to reimagine stories like that, and to be able to see girls like, oh my God, Mom, she looks like me. Like, oh my God,
I agree with that. I just wish that they would come up with from the ground up their own stories, because I feel like that can even be stronger, because it doesn't look like we're being tokenized or we're being handed down a character that they already had, and it just takes away some of that extra energy. Like, they just did a cartoon about a year ago called Raya and the Last Dragon. It was a completely original Chinese thing, right?
Yeah.
And the characters were all different, and they were all new, and they were their own thing, and it was fine, and it just takes away some of the stuff. But it didn't get all that
popular. It wasn't all that.
Well, no, but it
wasn't super crazy popular.
But that's because these other ones have been around for all the time.
Stories like Home is one that came out. Not really. It was popular, but it wasn't
Yeah.
Little Mermaid popular.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a staple. It wasn't like,
But they also it wasn't a big musical thing either, though. Yeah. I think if they made one that was a fairy tale, like Little Mermaid, because Raya wasn't necessarily the fairy tale,
and it wasn't
the same
musical.
way. But they came up with a fairy tale musical because you got the Under the Sea and all that stuff like that. These big songs that kids remember. If you did one like that, but with a black story, all I'm saying is I think that it would be just a different energy, and I wish that they would kind of take that direction. But I understand the point that you're making, and at the end of the day,
fan base and reimagining a story that's already
already there, and it is there.
Loved.
And if it's that big of a problem with you, and you're saying that you can't watch this movie because the girl is a different color,
I will go watch it twice.
And you gotta take a look at yourself and understand what that's all about.
Go get a job. I will watch it twice for you.
Well, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up there. We've had a big
crazy day,
crazy amount of
crazy info
with
There's
everything.
A lot of stuff going on,
Yeah, and we gotta work on some technical stuff that we got here. So we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon here. Yeah. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank everybody who participated and commented. Please like and share the show as we go on. Subscribe to Urban Solutions Radio. Check them out. They got more stuff coming on. Tiffany, when's your next?
So I'm supposed to have a show tomorrow. I'll hopefully be here.
if the internet gods are allowing it.
And
tomorrow.
It may or may not be a certain other someone's birthday. Not him, but
I mean,
not you.
I'm waiting to hear it. I'm like, who?
Not you.
Who is it?
May or may not be Kendall's birthday tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So definitely tap in. It's tomorrow. You're on. Send in your music, urban.solutionfm@gmail.com. And be sure to like and subscribe and follow for any sort of updates.
It helps us grow the channel, guys.
Fun stuff that we're doing. Tap in, man.
We
got a lot going on.
All right, guys.
It's a new thing.
It's a new thing. We're getting ready to wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We'll be back next week with more stuff. We'll definitely have a better technical situation next week. So, guys, keep tuning in for that. For Tiffany Bell, I am Terry Owen. I want to thank everybody for joining us. This is Urban World Talk Live. And until next time, peace out.
Under the
that is not how that song went.